So you may or may not know, but I have had a lifelong fear of mice. I know it's not logical, believe me. I've tried for years and years to try to get rid of that fear by just telling myself they're not harmful. You know, it's just a little mouse. They're more afraid of you than I'm afraid of them, etc., etc. And like, it just didn't work. Finally, I found something that actually worked, and I can hardly even believe it myself, which is why I wanted to make sure to create a YouTube video, because I just have to share this information with you. I know so many people with fears of spiders and all sorts of things, and if it could get rid of my fear of mice, I really think there's a good chance that it could help you as well. And I only had one session of doing what I'm going to share with you in this video. So I just want to give some background story to help you realize how strong this fear of mice was for me. Whenever I saw a mouse, I would just freak out and jump on like the chair, on the table, on the bed, like whatever was closest, and I could just feel my nervous system like shaking. I would like shake. I was living in Boston for a year while I was doing my dietetic internship at Brigham and Women's Hospital. We were in a newly renovated apartment, but the mice still got in. Oh my gosh, they can just get under and in like all sorts of cracks. It's wild. And so I couldn't sleep, and I was put on sleep medications, and then I was drowsy in the morning. I was trying to do this intensive dietetic internship. It was just a recipe for disaster. And in our Heal Your Gut course, which you can join at the link below, we have a whole section on how lack of sleep can negatively impact gut health. So in this whole scheme of overall holistic health, you know, fears can negatively impact overall holistic health in these ways. And I know a lot of people who have fears of spiders and all sorts of other things. And finally, what happened to where I was at the point, I'm like, I have to figure out something that actually works for this, is our cat Kayma caught her first mouse. She's like 6 or 7. My friend found her as a stray in his backyard as a kitten, and you know, long story short, he invited me over to just, you know, see her and hang out with her and play with her, and I came home with a new cat. And so Kayma was in the basement, and she caught her first mouse, and she comes up to the apartment, and again, she's like 6, 7 years old at this point. So I was like, oh, Kayma, you know, come up here and hang out. And I looked down, and she has this like mouse in her mouth, like wiggling. I of course like screamed and freaked out, and someone would have thought there was something terrible that had happened. I jumped on the couch, and I just like was shaking. And she freaked out because she's like thought she was bringing me a gift, and like little did she know, like that's not my ideal type of gift. And so she drops the mouse, it runs and hides under a fridge for I don't know how long. I had to wear socks for days. I would actually like stand on a chair to go or around the fridge. I would stand on a chair when I'm opening the fridge for days. So hopefully that gives you a sense of how strong this fear was for me. And then I ended up reaching out to a local practitioner group. So there's functional medicine practitioners, holistic, whatever name you want to give it, conventional too. It's just open-mindedness to complementary therapies, right? And so I reached out to there to see if anybody knew of any sort of therapy practitioner that can actually get to the root of this, because I knew there was something in my subconscious that was the issue, but I just did not know how to fix it. So the lead or the organizer, the guy who created this group, he's a doctor, he's an MD. He actually was super sweet and private messaged me the name of a local practitioner that he said, you know, I sent when he was retired now, a lot of clients here, and the results that they got are just incredible, even after like one session. So I think it's worth a shot. And certainly if, you know, someone says that they think that they can teach me what's needed after one session, that it'll work, I mean, what's the risk, right? It's kind of not a get rich scheme or anything like that. So I did it, and I'm going to share that in the video, but let's do our little intro first. I'm Ashley Oswald, registered dietitian and founder of Oswald Digestive Clinic, where we help people improve and eliminate bothersome gut issues like gas, bloat, diarrhea, and or constipation. You can work with us one of two ways. You can schedule a free gut health call below, and we are now accepting insurance, or you can join us in our Heal Your Gut course, which the link for that is also below. So without further ado, let's dive right in and talk about the technique I use to get rid of my lifelong fear of mice. All right, so here's what I did. It's the technique called tapping. And if you had told me this beforehand that it would actually work, I totally wouldn't have believed you. So I worked with a woman named Valerie, and I'll link her information below because it's probably just gonna be best for you to set up a session with her and she can go more into depth and guide you through your first session. But what it is she would help me visualize and get into the emotion and the situation of being around mice, like everything from just picturing a mice crawling on the floor to then, it would ramp up. So more extreme episodes to where I would probably freak out more, right? To where I was like laying down, all these mice are running on me, and I would have this like body reaction to that. And then we would do the tapping, which is basically these meridians. So if you know like acupuncture, it's similar to that, and she can go through it more in your session, but it's that. And you just keep doing that. This is the biggest one for fear she taught me. And she would have me just going through doing this while I was visualizing and getting into the emotion of that situation. And after a few minutes, my visualization of it, my body's reaction would calm down. So then we would go on to the next thing, to where we even like pulled up a YouTube video where there was, mice running around, and I'd just be tapping, and she would, talk to me about what situations do kind of trigger me the most. And in one session you can't possibly think of all the scenarios that might trigger me, which is why it's great to know the tool now, because when I think of something, or when I maybe like walking in somebody's basement, I'm like, ooh, I didn't think that this would like trigger me and we didn't tap it through, I can then right away then kind of tap it through. So how the heck do I know this worked? Well, I did this many months ago, and I hadn't seen a mouse in that time. So just this past week, I was in Puerto Rico, and we were in this outdoor kitchen, and there was a bunch of cats. And there's these 4 cats that were playing with a mouse. This mouse was like running around. They weren't trying to kill it and eat it and etc. They were just like playing with it. They were kind of like catch it and let it go and then go play with it again. And normally I would have jumped on the table because this was just like a few feet from me, and I couldn't even believe it, but my body was like totally calm. I was just like watching the cats play with this mouse. Like, I'm still shocked. And so they did that for like an hour. And at one point, it was like pretty close to us. It was kind of under the table, not under, but right on the side of the table, and nothing. And so you'll have this like a fear, again, like spiders is so common, or, whatever, I would just highly recommend looking into this. In all my life of having this fear, it's the first thing that actually worked. And so I think that's all I have to say about this. That's the whole purpose of me making this video, because I think this is so important. I want to get the message out. So please share this with any friends that you know that are struggling with semi-debilitating fear. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell next to the subscribe button. You'll get notified of our new videos that roll out every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central Time. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next week. All right, bye.